What's going on, guys? It's NYPrepper here. In this video, I want to share another overlooked prep. This is overlooked prep number 30. And in this video, we're going to talk about bolt cutters, okay? A lot of preppers underestimate the importance of having bolt cutters. And here I have a variety of bolt cutters. This is not all the bolt cutters that I have, but here's a good representation of the types of bolt cutters that you want to have. And as you notice, there's three different sizes to these bolt cutters. On the left, I have 2 foot, 24-inch bolt cutters. In the middle, I have 14-inch bolt cutters. And on the right, I have these mini bolt cutters. I think these are 8-inch bolt cutters. I don't know the exact diameter. These are made by a German company called NYPrepper, and I'm guessing these are probably around 8 inches. Okay, so I want to just go over the different types of bolt cutters and why. First of all, I want to talk about why you would need bolt cutters after SHTF and why they're so important. So you know, bolt cutters have a variety of different uses. You could use bolt cutters for gaining entry into certain areas that you need to gain entry into, or you can use them for escaping certain areas, okay? Bolt cutters will give you a huge tactical advantage. You know, being able to easily gain entry into certain areas or to easily escape certain areas is a huge, you know, it's a huge advantage, okay? And it's very important. So, you know, some examples of areas that you might want to gain entry into. So, you know, obviously you may have to gain entry into buildings and structures for a variety of reasons. You know, you may have to gain entry for, you know, getting resources. Okay, if you're going around and you're scavenging resources around your area of operations, you know, you may have to cut some locks or cut some chains or whatever it is that's preventing you from accessing something, you know, for scavenging of resources. So what types of resources? You know, that could be food, it could be tools, it could be supply sheds, it could be cellars and basements of abandoned buildings and abandoned neighborhoods. All right, if, you know, let's say it's a post-SHTF situation and society has collapsed, there may be a lot of abandoned homes and abandoned basements, abandoned supply sheds, and some of them may have locks on them, and you may have to cut the locks to get some of the resources in there. Okay, so having a good pair of bolt cutters will help you tremendously. All right, so you can get those resources that you need. Another example is if you're escaping, let's say if you're bugging out or you're escaping from a major metropolitan area and you're using either a bug out bag or you have a vehicle with you, you may run into situations where you have to either cut some locks or cut some chains or cut fences. Okay, let's say, for example, you're bugging out with your vehicle and you're driving down the road and you come across a gate of some kind and the gate is locked. You know, there's a lock on it, or there's a chain, or, you know, let's say there's even a fence in your way. Okay, let's say you know, you may have to cut the lock that's holding the gate closed, or you may have to cut a fence so you can drive through the fence. An example of that would be, let's say you park your car in like a urban parking garage, or, you know, wherever you work or something like that. You leave your car in a parking garage and, you know, let's say society collapses and there's chaos going on. You may have to cut a hole in the fence so you can drive out with your car, okay? Because chances are the attendant may not be there. All right, so those are some examples. You know, if you're bugging out on foot, having bolt cutters is good too, because, you know, obviously if you need to gain access to areas for resources, if you're scavenging resources, or if you need to gain access to a structure for shelter purposes and for concealment and cover. All right, if it's a post-SHTF situation and you're bugging out on foot, you may have to take shelter inside of a building or a structure of some kind. And, to gain access to that building, you may have to cut through a lock or something along those lines. All right, or there may be a fence that you have to get through if you're bugging out on foot. There may be some fences that are too high to climb, or there's barbed wire, or it's just too dangerous to climb, and you may have to cut your way through the fence. All right, so those are some examples. And another example is a tactical situation. Let's say it's a post-SHTF situation, and you may want to do a raid of some kind or some kind of tactical operation. Let's say you're raiding something, or raiding another structure, and to gain access to that structure, you may have to cut through fences, through locks, and things of that nature. Let's say you're, again, looking for resources, but, tactically, if you're trying to raid something, okay, you're going to need bolt cutters to gain entry to that building that you're raiding, okay? So there's a lot of uses for bolt cutters, all right? And here's some of the bolt cutters I have. This one here is a HK Porter, okay? If you're going to get bolt cutters, don't go cheap. All right, go with a good quality company because you don't want your bolt cutters to fail. This is an American-made HK Porter. A little bit more expensive, but you know what? It's worth it. And so these are 24-inch bolt cutters, which will cut, these will cut a master lock, okay? These 24-inch bolt cutters will cut a padlocks, no problem. Small chains, chain link fence, it'll cut through chain link fence like butter. But this big one that I have here is for locks, okay? If I have to cut through a lock of some kind or a chain or something thicker, okay, that's where I'm going to use this big one here, all right? It's a 24-inch. I usually keep this in my vehicle, all right? And you have to check the legality in your particular state and your city, your town. Some places don't allow you to keep bolt cutters. They consider it like a burglary tool. But here in New York, possession of burglary tools is only they only charge you with it if there's intent to actually use them for burglaries. If you just have a bolt cutter in your vehicle, it's not illegal just by itself. But if you're driving around at night, or there's evidence to show, or probable cause to show that you are committing a burglary or about to commit a burglary, or you have committed a burglary, then they could arrest you and charge you with possession of burglary tools. But if you just have bolt cutters in your vehicle, it's not illegal by itself. So keep some large bolt cutters in your vehicle in case you have to cut through something to escape from a area that you're in. All right, and you should also have these around your house as well, in case you have to use them for a number of reasons that I mentioned, okay? These are also good if you're putting up fencing around your property and you have to cut a large amount of chain link fences. Let's say you're putting up security fencing, you're going to need bolt cutters to cut the fences and stuff like that. So that's another use for them, okay? So large bolt cutters, you use those for locks and things like that. Keep one in your vehicle and have it in your house as well. These are some smaller bolt cutters. These are made by Milwaukee, which is a good company. These are my tactical bolt cutters that I would use for more tactical situations where I don't want to lug around this big heavy bolt cutter. All right, I want something small that's going to get the job done. And so this bolt cutter here is a 14-inch bolt cutter. I think it costs like $30. What I like about it is it has these eye holes here in the handle, and what you can do is you can clip a rifle sling through this, okay, and you can sling this on your body. So if, let's say, you're gaining entry into an area, let's say you're raiding something, or it's you're doing some kind of tactical operation, you can sling this over your back, and when you need it, you can grab it and do what you have to do and then sling it on your back again and continue to move on. The only thing here, I just have to put some grip tape on these red handles here. I got to get some like hockey grip tape because that red just sticks out and, you know, eliminates the camouflage. You know, that bright red color's no good. All right, so if you do get bolt cutters and you plan to use them in tactical uses, make sure you cover any bright colors like these red grips with some grip tape or something like that. And these are just the right size for a tactical situation. All right, if I have to cut through some fencing real quick or whatever, you know, small locks and things like that to gain entry to a structure, but I don't want to get this massive thing with me. That's where this one is good. All right, and then here we have the small mini bolt cutters. These are made by Knipex, all right, which is a German company. And these guys I keep in my bug out bag. They're very light. I don't know how much it weighs, but you know, I'm guessing it's probably about a pound or a pound and a half, and it's solid metal. All right, it's forged. It's I think it's made in Germany. Yep, made in Germany. Right here, you can see it says made in Germany. All right, these bolt cutters are excellent, and I highly recommend you guys get these, okay? You can easily cut through fences with this, and that's pretty much what I got this for. And I keep this in my survival bag, or my bug out bag, as a lot of you guys would call them. I keep this in my survival bag or my go bag, and you know, I would use this if, let's say, it's a SHTF situation and I may have to cut through some fencing. Let's say I come across a barbed wire fence and I don't want to risk getting injured trying to climb it. I can just cut through it, okay? Or if I need to cut through a small lock or something, you know, I can do it with this, all right? It's not going to be easy, but if I have to, I could, all right? Depending on how hard the lock is and how big it is. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with this little bolt cutter here, all right? So, you know, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. You know, look into getting yourself some bolt cutters. There's a lot of uses for bolt cutters in a post-apocalyptic situation or post-SHTF. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.